Hey guys, so I just wanted to show you a very simple but very dramatic cut crease eye makeup look. It even has a built-in mistake fixer, so anyone can do it. Alright, I'm excited to show you, so let's get started. Okay, first thing we're going to do for our base, instead of a primer, we're going to use concealer. And this is what we're going to use to come back and fix any mistakes later on. So this is going to make it a lot easier if you do it this way. So I'm just applying the concealer with a concealer brush, and I'm putting it all over my entire lid. I just put it on and then I just blend it in with a brush. Another thing that I want to add that I did not do in this video, I forgot, was that you should really set your base with a powder. The base is going to be a little bit tacky, so if you put a powder on there, it's going to keep the color from sticking to the base, and it's going to help you blend everything a lot more easily later on. So it's something you definitely want to do, and you just want to use like a neutral color, something maybe close to your skin color, just like a nude plain color with no shimmer. Now I'm just getting my brushes together. I'm using a couple different fluffy brushes and then a stiff crease brush to do the actual cut crease line. And then you're going to want a flat brush to put the color onto your lid afterwards. If you don't have more than one of these fluffy brushes, you can just use the same one and clean it, but it's easier if you don't have to stop and do that. So now I'm picking up my first color. It's kind of like a medium gray. You can use any color that you want, but I'm just going with a gray theme for this look. And you're going to kind of swipe it back and forth across the top of your crease line. You're not going to put anything on your actual lid at this point. And here I'm showing you up a little bit closer. You're just going all the way across. You want the color to be even all the way across instead of just concentrated into the outer corner like you might be used to. And here I'm just actually touching up the concealer on my lid. I'm not actually putting color there. But as you can see, there's like a light gray line of color going across the top half of my lid, and then my eyelid is still blank. Then I just kind of tip it up a little bit, wing it out a little bit at the outer corner. And that's going to pull the look together in the end, so you'll see how that all works out. Don't worry if it's not perfect at this point, because we're going to go back and fix it afterwards. So basically you're just going to keep adding on colors and layering it until you get it how you want it. We're going to start out with that lighter gray, and then we'll add in a deeper color closer to the crease. And then we're actually going to go in with the crease brush and draw an even darker line. Now you can skip that part if you want this to be less dramatic and you just want like a lighter look. But I'm going to actually go for the full dramatic effect today. So I am going to go in with that darkest color after this. But right here what I'm doing is I'm just building up the color. And you can just keep adding color until you're happy with it and just keep blending it. You're going to want to do it slowly in steps like this, because if you just pop a bunch of color on there at once, it's going to be hard to blend. So even though it takes longer, it's better to go back and forth, and keep adding a little bit at a time. And then what I do is, after I put the colors on and get them where I want them, I take another fluffy brush that is clean and I just kind of blend, blend, blend. So you want to just make sure there's no harsh lines, but also you do kind of want to have that harsh line between that bottom of your crease and the top of your lid, but you don't want it to be so harsh, so you're just going to kind of blend the color. And then you just keep going in, adding the colors, stop and blend with that other brush, just keep adding, like I said, until you get the desired result. I'm going in and just adding a little bit of a highlight color above that gray underneath my eyebrows, just to kind of tie the whole look in together. You can do this or not do this if you want, but I feel like since this is such a dramatic look, it would almost look bare if you didn't put anything there, so that's why I did choose to do that. But if you don't like that look, you can skip that part. Okay, so here I am taking my crease brush and I put a very dark color, and I'm showing you this up close so you can really see what I'm doing. You're going to want to do this with your eyes open as much as possible so you can get it in the perfect spot. See, I'm just drawing like a solid dark line right above the top of where my eyes are, and that's where you're going to see that dramatic cut crease line. And again, like I said, don't worry if it's not perfect because we're going to go back in and fix it afterwards. But now you can kind of see the shape being built where it's that dramatic line above your eyelid and then it kind of wings out at the outer corner. So you're just going to do that as best as you can with your eyes open so that you can get it in the perfect spot. And you just, again, keep doing it until you have it perfect, and that's what it should look like in the end. And then we'll go in and you can kind of blend it all together with that fluffy brush again afterwards. Make sure it blends in with the darker color above it. So this is the part where we fix any mistakes that we have because we're going to want this perfect sharp line on our eyelid where it transitions from the light color to that dark crease line. So I'm taking a concealer brush, putting a tiny bit of concealer on there, and I actually put a little bit too much on this side, as you'll be able to tell compared to the other side. So you want to be careful not to put too much because it'll just make it easier. But if you do put too much, you can make it work. You just got to blend it extra. But I put this concealer back on my lid over the other concealer that was there. Just add in a little bit more just so you have something more to work with. And then you're going to try and perfect the line. If you can't do it with the concealer brush very well, you can actually go back in with either like a liner shader brush, which I do afterwards, or like just any kind of tiny little brush that you can get in more precise. The skin on my eyelids is like a little bit looser, so for me the concealer brush didn't work as well. I didn't get a perfect line, so that's why I went in and perfected it with a smaller brush. So you just got to find what works for you, but basically you're going to want to have like this sharp line so there's this contrast, which usually you don't want a major contrast with the eyeshadow, so this is kind of something different than you might be used to, but it's a really cool dramatic look. So I'm just going in and just carving out that line, and see how there's that dark, all of a sudden like dramatic look, and it almost has like this contoured effect because you go from dark and then you kind of fade into the light. So it's like a really cool dramatic look. It's really pretty. It looks like you got your makeup done professionally, and it's really just like you swiped some color across your lid in the correct order just to make it look really cool. So it looks like it's very difficult, but it's really not terribly hard. And if you take your time and just give yourself a little bit of extra time to do this, anyone can do it. It's pretty easy. It's a little bit more work than you might spend on a normal everyday look, but it's not very hard to do. So I'm just going in, making sure the line is perfect. And we're going to use this concealer as a base for a nice bright light color that's going to go on our lids. And that's going to really add to that contrast on that line there that we're working to create. So I just take the lightest color in the palette that I'm using, and I'm just patting it onto my eyelids with a flat brush because I want the color to be concentrated. So I'm just kind of patting it on there and just being careful not to disrupt that line that we just worked really hard to create. So if you just put it on with a flat brush and just kind of pat it on there, that's how you're going to get it on perfect. And don't worry if it's kind of bright and like very light and very different from the line that you're putting it against, because that's what's going to give you that contrasting cut crease look. So it's okay here. And you're just going to kind of want to bring it across the entire lid, but also bring it out against that winged out line, because that's going to be part of that outer part of the look as well. And this is how it should look when you're done with the shadow. So you can see that dramatic line when your eyes are open. There's like this really intense look in that crease above your eyelids. So then you're going to go in with a liquid liner. And I know that liquid liner can be scary. It's easy to mess up and it can be hard to work with if you're not used to it. But it's definitely worth it for this look. Because it gives you this really dramatic look in the end. So it's definitely worth it to try. And if you have trouble with liquid liner, I recently made a video on how to fix it without having to redo your whole eye makeup. So if you have any trouble with that, make sure you watch that video. I will put a link to it in the description in case you want to reference that as well. Before you try this. But basically you're just going to go in and, you can do it slowly and just do a little piece by piece just to make it easier. And you're going to line your entire eyelid all the way across, but then you're going to want to wing it out to match that line that you did on the outside. And this look is supposed to be dramatic, and it should kind of wing out far, probably further than you'd normally do on a normal everyday look. It looks really cool because you have this dark line from the liner, then you have a light section, and then you have that shadow line that you put in there. So it looks pretty cool. You can probably modify this so that it's not so long if you prefer, but I think it looks really good with that long winged out look there. So definitely give it a try. After you're done with your liner, you're definitely going to want to do some mascara, which I did. I didn't show you in the video, but I did put on my mascara. And then here's the final look, how it should look with everything. I've got liner, mascara, and the shadow done, and that's what it should look like. And you can see that cool triple line effect on the outer corner with the finished look. And then you're just going to want to add a lip color. I chose a dark neutral lip for this look today, but this is pretty versatile where you can kind of do anything. Like you can do a bright red lip, you can do a bright pink lip, you can do a neutral lip, a light lip, nude, whatever you want. It should work with this because especially depending on the colors that you use, it's very dramatic, but it's also kind of neutral and it works with anything. So, you can really take this in any direction that you want. So that's another reason why I like this look. It's really cool. But I just went in and did like a dark neutral color on my lips for this look. But you can really customize it to whatever you want. So that's it. That's all there is to it. So let me know what you think if you have any questions or comments, and definitely give it a try and let me know how it works for you. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys got some value out of this video. See you soon.